All right, I'm back. Looks like the Instagram is working now. Um, so I think we're good. We'll see. I'm just gonna send a little text out. Anyway, I am back. Looks like it's working. Hopefully. If not, I guess it's just the black screen for the Instagram viewers today. But I am going to get on with things this morning. I am lettering today. I'm working on High Strangeness, which was my first graphic novel from 1997. 97, 98. I think I finally stopped publishing it probably around 99. And I published a print edition and I published it as a webcomic, which was back in the day. Webcomics were, I don't really know where web comics are today. I don't really follow that medium as much as I used to, but I used to be really immersed in it. In the I think the scanner that I had access to was only 200 DPI, and if, as you may or may not know, it's really not a high enough resolution for a good quality print. It's okay for a web comic, at least back then. Of course, screen resolutions are much better now. It looked okay back in the day, but I just never had a good quality scan of the pages. So I couldn't really do much with it. There wasn't much more I could do with High Strangeness, and so it just languished in limbo for years. And had thought from time to time of trying to resurrect it in some way. And then I guess about 2 years ago, I bought an iPad Pro and quickly realized that, oh, okay, I can finally bring High Strangeness back because I can basically re-ink it and re-letter it in high resolution on my iPad. So that's what I'm doing. I started last year on that project, and it's sort of it's a back burner project. I've got Secret Powers, which is really on the forefront of my agenda. That's a 3-issue miniseries that will be published sometime late next year, and High Strangeness is really my goal with it is to just get the book back in print, and I think it deserves to be in print, even though it's very early work from me. It was a lot of work, and I do think it's a beautiful looking book. So that's what I'm working on, and I'm going to be lettering some of that this morning. Oh, I must have opened the earlier. I must have opened my older version of InDesign. So let's get rid of that. Let's see if it'll close. So I injured my shoulder about 3 weeks ago biking, mountain biking, and so I haven't really been able to work out or exercise much, especially upper body. I haven't been able to do really anything, and this morning was the first time I've been back to the gym to do more upper body exercise. So that felt pretty good to finally get back to that. All right, so I had for some reason I've got an older version of InDesign still sitting in my files in my folders. So this re-inking, and it's I'm calling it a redux of high strangeness. I don't know. I guess I'll click yes for that. It's been kind of interesting to revisit really old work from me, and I have used this as an opportunity to refine a few things, and nothing major, but I have fixed a few things here and there, and I also have added a gray tone, which I wanted to do that originally, but it was really before digital art. There wasn't much of an option for that, and to do this by hand, the halftones on the art, I tried to do it and it just was kind of a mess, and so I just published it as really a stark black and white. See, these are little notes for myself because I have to create some art that basically introduces each chapter, and I'm going to deal with that at the end of the project. So you can see, I've added this extra bit of shading throughout. And again, there are things I probably could have redrawn and I chose not to, and then there's other things that I did adjust a little bit. Mainly faces. I was not great at faces back then, and so I have refined those a little here and there, not all of them, but a few things, especially likenesses. Like this is a likeness of Jacques Vallée, who is in ufology, he's a famous scientist, and so I drew a better likeness of him here, and as well as Dr. Jung, Carl Jung, also a famous psychologist who dealt with the UFO phenomenon, was fascinated by it. So he had a few things of interest to say, and so my original likeness of him was not great. And this horse, I redrew the horse, just little things. Alright, so anyway, this is where I'm at with the lettering. So I do all of my lettering in InDesign, and that's not a common method for comic book creators, but I have found that it works really well for me. I use InDesign a lot with my graphic design work, so it just makes sense to apply it here. So the way I'm doing this, I'm overlaying the original art, which is lettered, so I can have a guide of how to re-letter it. I've got my original PDFs. What page was that? I wonder, did I miss a page? Looks like I may have missed something here. Did I do this out of order? I must have. Must be actually. Glad I noticed this. So, which that means I still have, looks like maybe a couple of pages to re-ink. I'm basically dealing with this book in two parts. It's I think 110 pages total. 110, 120. So I'm going to finish the first half completely and then start on the second half. Wow, that's surprising. Thought for sure I had all of the pages in here. Where are my pages? So I'm just going to duplicate the spread. And then replace. No, it's a wrong book. I wonder if it's in here. I just didn't grab it. Yeah, looks like I'm missing a page, at least one page, which really stinks because now I have to reshuffle all of the pages so they match up. And I'm almost certain I did not re-ink that one. So we'll just, for now, I'm just going to use the original page here. Because I really want to focus on getting the lettering. And then I'll just circle back. Alright, so it looks like it was just one page. Man. Alright. do this? I gotta figure out a way to... This is one of the reasons I like InDesign, though, because it's great for assembling multi-page documents, and so why not use it for comics? It works really well. So there's that one. Alright, so that's... Yeah, it looks like I've got them out of order. So let's just shuffle these around. Doesn't make sense, though. I wonder if these are numbered wrong. So that's that one. Oh, okay, that was right. Duplicate that spread again. So that's correct. This one, I can get rid of that. This is going to come over here. No. Alright, I think that fixes that problem. Oh. Let's go here. All right. That's good. I did not have to... Oh, wait. Right, I can get rid of that entire spread. Okay, so this page I have to re-ink. This is the original. Somehow I missed that before. And then here, yeah, looks like I am going to have to maybe reshuffle. New extended. So this is 2 pages here. I think the chapter headers are supposed to be just 1 page, 1 new page. And then the divider between the end of chapter 1 and the history of UFOs has a 2-page spread. I don't know if I carry that forward throughout the whole book. I'm going to look. I thought I was lettering this morning, but I guess I'm not yet. Okay. Alright, so I extended that. Doesn't look like I have really any set format for this. This one only has a 1-page divider between the end of a chapter and the beginning of the history chapters. So if that's the case, then I think what I can do, that can be one. That's the divider page. Or we can make that, I can make that a, just trying to figure out a way to not have to completely re-scramble my pages. All right. Now I can letter. It looks like I chose, I don't know what this font is. It's kind of not a great font. Yeah. What I could do is try to use one of those font finders. And I'll try to match this up. See if I can find that font. All right, let's see what we can come up with here. Sometimes these work and sometimes they don't, but it's worth a shot. And if I can't find the exact font, I'll probably just replace it with something similar. These are like not anything like the font. I mean, it's kind of a waste. I might even have something already. Chances are I do. So I'm just gonna take a quick look. I am using the classic CC Wild Words, and that's from Comic Crafts. I think that was maybe their first font product, and you know, in 1996 or 97, digital lettering was actually not, it was not common yet. It was starting to, it was used, but when I got that font, that Comics Craft font, it felt like a whole new world was open to me now, you know, because I'm a writer and an artist, but I'm not a letterer. I wasn't a letterer, because lettering is, you know, it's kind of its own animal. It's a very, you know, it's kind of its own skill set in some ways. And I know how to hand letter. I mean, I can do it if I, you know, if I literally have to, but it was very difficult. It's very difficult to do it all on your own, right? Like, just to create comics. So when this font came out, man, what a game changer it was for me and for, you know, just so many creators. And so I don't know what the perception is for that font now, whether that's people cringe at it, or I don't know, but it is literally a flawless font. It's almost like they're perfect. They never got any better. I mean, they're great. Comic Craft is great. They do great. Their fonts are amazing. But I don't know, that Comic Craft font, maybe it's just nostalgia, but it just feels so flawless for lettering. And it's a shame that it's not still, ooh, that looks pretty good, widely used. Let's see what this one looks like. So it's been fun revisiting that also with this project, going back to that that old font. I don't know, I'm not super thrilled with that one. Another great resource is Blambot. I have used their fonts for many years, and let's see what they have. That might be something quick. I do buy fonts from Blambot occasionally. just don't think I want to buy one today. Pretty good one. Straight jacket. And the reason I'm being kind of careful about what font I'm using is because I'm not sure, I don't remember if that narrative is used later in the book. So I don't want to just randomly pick something. I mean, I think that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and get that. Install that. That was straight jacket. So let's try. Let's try that. Yeah, that's better. It's more legible than the one I had picked originally. Also, I gotta adjust the dog bed. Where, Daisy? My dogs are bouged. They're bouged out. They've got this big fluffy dog bed that I had to unfold for them. That's why one of them was barking. It's kind of ridiculous. They live better than a lot of people, which is sad. So I know this kind of looks like a mess right now, but it's all going to make sense here soon enough. Do that. crap. I'm just gonna grab the balloons, text, and I'm gonna reduce the translucency on this just so I can see a little clearer what I'm doing with the lettering. So I'm staying pretty true to what I had originally designed and created with this, but I'm not thrilled with the word balloons. They're just very computerized looking. So I'm using my more organic looking balloons that are not perfectly shaped. So like I said, there are a few things I'm improving. So for a project of this scope, really the only way to do it is to set milestones. And by that I mean kind of structure the production of the book in a way where I feel like I'm accomplishing something, like I'm actually, things are getting done. So for instance, like I mentioned, I have re-inked the first 60 pages and decided to stop there at the halfway mark, and then go in and letter. And I tend to work like that for any graphic novels or miniseries projects that are, big projects. Because if you don't, it's very easy to just get overwhelmed, or discouraged. Daisy. She's barking at the mail delivery. Alright, so we don't have any more word balloons. and even with the narrative, I'm finding a few things that need corrected. Not a lot, but there are some stuff. There are some things that I didn't really have a handle on yet as a writer, and so just like the art, oh, that needs to be left aligned. Just like the art, I'm using it as an opportunity to make a few refinements. I gotta spell check some of this stuff too. I mean, there's some pretty good, I think it's pretty good writing for the most part. I mean, I was still kind of finding my way, but let's just run a little spell check. This box down here. Yeah, CC Wildsword font needs to make a big comeback. It's a great font. And I had kind of an extra thick border around this box, but I don't see any need for it. I'm not going to do that. Now the interesting thing here is, so this balloon is a very artistic hand-drawn balloon. So I'm going to create that in Illustrator, because as great as InDesign is, Illustrator is going to be the best app for this. The way I typically do this, I'll take a screenshot of the page. We'll open up Illustrator. Place that screenshot. my layers? Gonna lock that layer. I'm gonna create a new layer. I'm just gonna come in here and with my brush tool. I'm not sure if the settings are right. I'm just gonna kind of play around with it and see. Yeah, that's not right. So let's adjust this. Fidelity. I thought I had one of these saved somewhere. Apparently I don't. Do you want it accurate? I'm trying to get the tapered. Understand where it went. Oh, here we go. Let's see if I can remember. Pressure. I think these are all pressure. Have more of a vector line here. Oh, I like that. Alright, so now it's doing it. Now it's doing what it's supposed to do. Do those ones over. too thick. So usually I'm sticking very close to my original lines, but going to make a little exception with these. Just feel like it needs a little boost. All right, so then just let's think about this. Actually, I'm going to create an additional layer for the balloon interior color. Okay. And I want to test this out and just put just a random color behind it. That actually looks better to have. I don't want any edges showing up, so that's why I'm extending this out. Alright, that looks pretty good. Get rid of that. And where's the lettering? Did I just delete the lettering? Alright, I guess I have to re-letter it. What happened? Oh, okay. Lettering is in InDesign, so I'm just doing the balloons. Okay, there's that one. So I have a show coming up this weekend. It's Lake County Comic Book Convention. If you're local in the Florida area, Central Florida, I hope you'll consider stopping by. Should be a pretty good show. I do a lot of commissioned art during these shows, typically. I don't like that little thing. It's a little squirrely thing here. Oops. I also do private commissions through my Etsy store. You can find me there. Just search for Beyond Forward Art. And I have, I think, 6 different options for commissions, different pricing. You get original art mailed to you. It includes a color print. So pretty good. I think it's a pretty good deal. Pretty good prices. And I sell original comic art, my art from just various points in my career. I've got Marvel, Dark Horse, Image Comics, other publishers. I've got my own publishing, original art. You can find me at eBay under Beyond Forward Art. Easy to remember. I list new items daily, so I usually have 1 or 2 new pieces of art or art prints. I have signed comics. There's a lot there. You can actually click on it. I've got new fancy schmancy little links there on the bottom left corner of your screen. It also links to my Patreon page, where I basically I post twice a week there, and it's includes process shots, works in progress, original art scans, high res scans. I've got Patreon exclusive comics, print posters. If you are, I think it's tier 3 or 4, you get a poster mailed to you, and commissioned sketches. So hopefully I'll see you over there as well. All right. Now I can delete this. And I'm just going to, I think I'll just take these one at a time. Now I can just kind of manipulate it a little bit further in InDesign. Take this one next. This page has taken a little longer than usual just because I had to create these unique balloons. Alright. I need to put a box behind that one too. Alright, so there's a page down. Usually I can letter 2 or 3 pages in an hour, but this one obviously was a little different. Alright. On to page 22. Is that the right one? So this is the original. That was the original page. As you can see, it's, you know, it's a bit different. I mean, it's mostly the same, but it's, you know, I did refine a few things. I kind of reworked some faces a little bit. Okay, so then I'm just going to take this page. So it's just a basic guide. I'm not going to bother with really lining it up and making it all perfect, because I'm literally just using it as a guide to re-letter. So I can share a little bit about the backstory of this project. I had been trying to really hone my penciling skills, and of course I was constantly writing. This was back in the mid 90s, but I was still working as an inker. I think I was working at Dark Horse at the time. High Strangeness was really my first genuine effort as a creator, as a writer and artist. And it also came at a time when the comics industry was not doing well. So at some point in this project, I think probably pretty early on, I was out of work because the publishers I had been working for, Malibu Comics, went out of business because Marvel basically shut them down. I was still doing some work for them. Dark Horse was suffering pretty badly financially, and so nothing was selling. There was a glut in the market, so all publishers were really struggling. Marvel was going through bankruptcy, and they had massive layoffs, so the few connections I had at Marvel were gone. So I was really out of work and couldn't, I just couldn't find anything, and so I used that time to create High Strangeness. I figured, well, I'm going to use this time to get good at this. I really want to get outside of inking, being an inker, and do what I really intended to do all along, which was to create my own comics. I wonder if there should be a hyphen on that. Misidentify. Kind of looks like it should have one. So that was a very tough time for me, in my career, because I had to really switch gears and kind of figure out what else can I do. And I went to art school to become a graphic designer. That was my intention, but I didn't really like design because this was right before the computer graphics really took over, and so a lot of design work was done by hand still, the traditional methods, and I kind of hated it. I hated that process. But when Photoshop and the Adobe products started to roll out, I got really interested and really self-taught how to use these apps, and so I started working as a graphic designer and realized that I really like this as a career. And so I did that while I was honing my comic book skills, with the hope that the industry would bounce back and that I could kind of step back into it as a stronger creator. Which is what happened, fortunately. I'll look that up. Let's see. Should misidentify be hyphened? Alright, so this should not be a hyphen. Can't really see very well there. Alright, I think I'm gonna end the stream here. We actually went over an hour this morning. I'd like to get to maybe an hour and a half instead of an hour. Don't feel like an hour is really enough. Like, it takes me a few minutes to really get rolling. But I think we're at a good spot here. So I think that's going to be it for today. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate your support. I do hope you'll check out my Etsy store and my eBay store, and also Patreon. You can click on the little links there at the bottom left. I'll give you a minute to do that. And I'm also trying to get into Whatnot and trying to set that up. I did a show about 2 weeks ago, just as sort of just a test run, really. But my hope is to get into that and start running some shows, selling some original art that I have. I've amassed quite a bit over the years, so hope to do that soon. In the meantime, I appreciate you being here, and I hope you'll consider subscribing to my Twitch channel. I multi-stream to Instagram and YouTube, so you can find me in any of those places. And that's really it. Have a good one. I'll see you here tomorrow.